Listeners, what's going on? It is the boy Armon Sadler. Of course, you are here locked in with Stay Busy with Armon Sadler, where we have responsible discussions on the music business and the music culture. I know I told y'all that we will be taking a break, that our last episode with Carl Lamar was our season finale. Well, break is over. We're back, and we had an incredible opportunity that we could not pass up on. I'm talking to someone who is a prominent voice within sports, someone who has done some of the greatest interviews over the last few years, someone who's incredibly humble and has an admirable work ethic. She has worked for Thursday Night Football, Bleacher Report, Turner Sports. She has acted. She is all over. None other than the incredible Taylor Rooks. And I spoke with Taylor Rooks about a very important day within the culture, International Female Ride Day, which is taking place today. And it is a day dedicated to women who enjoy motorcycling, off-roading, and other motorsport activities. Now, we spoke with her last week about her experience riding on the Polaris Slingshot. We talked to her about sports. We talked to her about music. We talked to her about things that she's done and how she measures her success as a journalist. So it was very great for me to hear as a fellow journalist. And she also shouted out some incredible people who have inspired her and are also doing great work currently. So I think that there's something for everyone to get out of this. So I don't want to overtalk it. We got Taylor Rooks in the Busyverse talking about International Female Ride Day and a bunch of other things. You don't want to miss this. So we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, I will be on with none other than the incredible Taylor Rooks. Listeners, what's happening? We are here with the one, the only Taylor Rooks. Very exciting conversation. Thank you so much for giving me your time, Taylor. How are you?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to talk to you.
Awesome. So let's get right to it. You are taking part in the 17th annual International Female Ride Day. How did it feel to be asked to take part in that?
Oh, it felt amazing. It was something fun and new and fresh that I really enjoyed. So I got to go on an adventure for a day, and I encourage everybody to, go on their own adventure and do their own ride on that first Saturday in May.
Now, you said that it's new, but I know in the Blind Faith movie from 2021 that you were riding in a motorcycle. So is it really completely new for you?
Yeah, so I will say I was on that motorcycle for maybe 5 seconds. The person riding down PCH was a stunt double, and she's a woman and an amazing rider. And I remember even when I was speaking to her, I was so inspired by her story and just how much of a beast she is, on her motorcycle. So I did get a tiny taste when I was doing that, but I had a stunt woman for the ride, but that was me doing the fights. I learned choreography. So, but I won't take credit for being really cool on the motorcycle at that point.
Yeah, no, it looked like you was giving him hell on that tractor.
It was a good time. Learning the fight choreography honestly didn't take as long as I thought that it was going to take. But it was really cool just seeing the process and how they made it super cinematic, and like how I looked like I was really hitting him really hard and I wasn't. So it was a nice experience.
That's fire. And as for the riding in the Polaris Slingshot, I know you're riding through the city of Houston. So like, what was it like riding through there? And I'm sure like y'all were, drawing a lot of attention. Typically people who are riding around the streets in those vehicles are drawing a lot of attention. So what was the experience like riding in the Slingshot?
Yeah, that's what I was telling everyone. I mean, it's cool that when you're riding, everyone else is like, oh my goodness, who is that in that slingshot? You're riding low to the ground and you're blasting your music and you have your helmet on. And I just love, the wind is going through your hair and it feels very freeing. And it also is it's really nice to be in this really cool looking vehicle that is super flashy and draws a lot of attention, and you feel like everybody looking at it also wants their own. So it's nice because even after I got off the slingshot, I'm like, should I have one of these in New York City? It's really fun to ride around.
Absolutely. Can we expect you and International Female Ride Day Polaris to do any like future partnerships, like maybe you getting on a motorcycle again for more than 5 seconds?
I mean, I have really, truly loved this partnership with Polaris for International Female Ride Day. I really enjoy working with them and learning about all of the things they are doing to continue to push women to the forefront in power sports, and also continue to empower women to try power sports, and also people of color. You know, they're very intentional with diversifying what the riding space looks like. So I've really enjoyed this partnership. I'd be more than happy to continue to do stuff with Polaris, because I do believe in what they're doing, and I believe in this mission, and I believe that riding should be accessible to any person who wants to try it, and any person that just, you know, wants to go on an adventure. And that's something that Polaris has dedicated, you know, a lot of their time and resources to doing. And, you know, that's the best thing that you can ask for in a partner.
For sure. What's like the coolest thing that you learned about motorcycles or like off-road sports or just anything related to it throughout this experience?
Well, I thought it was very cool. I didn't know this. Like, if you're riding with somebody, and obviously you both have your helmets on, there's like Bluetooth helmets. So
Oh,
you
wow.
can talk to them while you're riding. If that, you know, so that you guys can still hear each other. Because even I was
Hmm.
riding with Portia, who was like a beast rider. She's very big in the community. And sometimes if you have your helmet on, you can't hear the person next to you. You're having to lean a lot. But there's really cool technology to be able to talk as you do the ride. So I was super interested in that. But then I was very into learning about the ways that people customize their bikes or their slingshots. Like, it's really cool how personal people make riding. They want their, you know, they want it to reflect what they're like. So that was really cool.
If you were to get your own bike or your own slingshot, what would you name it?
Oh my goodness, what would I name it?
Hmm.
Oh my gosh, let me
We asked
think.
the hard questions here.
Yeah, I've never thought about what I name it. I'm like, maybe I know what it would look like. But
Okay.
what would I name it? Sorry,
You can also
my
tell
dog
us
is
what it would
very
look like
loudly
too.
drinking her water at the moment. I think that I would name, I don't know. I'm a big Falcons fan. I'm from Georgia. So it
Hmm.
would have to, it would be something that had to do with the Falcons probably, or just something Georgia in general. I'm from Gwinnett County, which is a suburb of Atlanta, and I rep it very hard. So maybe something that has to do with the South, but I'm not sure
Okay.
yet.
Okay. I respect that. I respect that.
Maybe
And you were talking.
the slingshot, we do like a play on words with Andre 3000, and it's like slingshot
Mm,
and something like that. You know,
okay.
something cute,
Okay.
something very like just a little hint.
Okay. I like that. I'm jacking that. I'm jacking
Yeah.
that. And you were talking a lot about how Polaris and International Female Ride Day empowers women, and you are blazing a trail as a journalist. Who are some women that you looked up to within the space, and who are some women that you think people should be more aware of right now who are doing their thing in the space too?
Oh, that's a really good question. I mean, women I looked up to in the space, that list is long and endless. There's been so many, from, you know, Pim Oliver, Carrie Champion, Jamel Hill, Leslie Visser, Susie Colbert, and obviously not in the sports space, but, you know, somebody like Oprah, or Terry Gross, who, you know, were, you know, interviewers by trade, which is something that I do try to do and be. And then now, oh my goodness, there's so many women. I've really enjoyed watching, you know, everything that Alexis Morgan does, especially in the gaming space. I know that there's not that many women when it comes to esports, and she does a lot of that. We have a young lady named Molly Morrison who has joined us on the NBA Twitter live show and is kind of like our social media correspondent, and she's been good. Definitely Autumn Johnson, who does a lot of work in women's basketball and men's basketball. She's a really, really strong and talented up and comer in the space. So there's so many. And I just like the fact that there are names that I can rattle off, because I know it didn't really used to be that way, but now women continue to grow in the space, and they always have, you know, bludgeoning platforms, and people really do pay attention to what women are saying in sports, as they should. So it's great that it has become, even though there is a lot more work to do, it's become a much more welcoming space. And it is allowing more voices, which is really, really nice.
No, absolutely. And so being a journalist, I can understand like people kind of focus on the surface level, like, oh, you talk to this person, you talk to this person, and that's how they measure success for us. How do you measure success for yourself?
Yeah. I measure success by, did I hear something I hadn't heard before? Um, did this person open up in a way that I haven't heard them? Did they tell a story that no one knew about? Um, do people feel like they walk away from that interview seeing a whole person, and not just an athlete? I think that's, to me, what a successful interview is. And I think I'll feel like I had a successful career if I am known to be that person. Um, but when I'm doing work and doing research and stepping into this, I always want it to be something where you leave with something, and there's some sort of revelation, or there is some sort of moment where you that was thought provoking, where there was a real exchange of thought, and we learned about it. I do think it really is like it's a partnership when you do an interview. You have to have good questions, because those good questions lead to good answers, and that allows the interviewee to feel like they were heard and understood and seen. And that is how I try to measure success with the work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're talking about the NFL earlier. You're a Falcons fan. I've been through a little journey as a sports fan myself. I was a Colts fan for like 20 years. Last
Okay.
season was very last season was very disappointing for me. So I've switched my allegiances to the New York Jets. Now, what do you think the New York Jets are going to be able to accomplish this year? And you could be honest. You could be brutal with me.
Oh, I'm not just saying this because you are a Jets fan now. I think that the Jets will be really good. I mean, obviously, anytime you get Aaron Rodgers on the team, you're gonna have a chance. But they have a strong offense. They had a strong offense last year. They just really needed somebody that could get those guys the ball. And obviously, Saul, as a defensive-minded coach, you guys are gonna always have that in the bag, and in some ways. But having Aaron on the other side of the ball, to really take you to that next level, I think it's going to be a really good season. And it's been nice to see Aaron acclimating to both New York and his teammates. He obviously already knew Lazard, but taking him to the Knicks game, and then he took Sauce to the Knicks game. So he's really, I think, trying to be a New Yorker and get into the groove of it. So it's been nice to see.
For sure, for sure. And I saw you had a really insightful post about Giannis's comments when he was asked that question about failure. And that's been a hot topic in the NBA playoffs. But the NBA playoffs as a whole, I feel like this is the best first round that we've seen in like years. So, like, what's been the biggest surprise or storyline for you throughout the NBA playoffs?
Oh no, the playoffs have been so fun. I've truly enjoyed every minute. I mean, I would say biggest surprise, right? I don't know. I don't think anybody thought the Bucks weren't going to make it out of the first round. So that was certainly one. And then before the playoffs, I think it's a surprise that we're not watching Dallas at all, as a big surprise. I will say, as a Hawks fan, I think people thought the Hawks would maybe win one. Some people were saying they were going to get swept. We won two. And it was really nice to see what Trey and DeJounte look like when it's clicking on all cylinders. So that was certainly fun. But it's been a really great playoffs. Of course, Jimmy Butler continues to just be crazy good. I
Yeah.
hope that he's back on. I think they play Saturday. But it's been great.
Yeah. Absolutely. I've become a big Trey Young fan over the years too. So it was like I I was worried in the play-in, so to see them make the first round and then win two, I was like, hey, that's success. That's a successful
It's
season for
also
them.
wild that the Hawks beat the Heat in the play-in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, what? Crazy.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And we are a music podcast as well, so I gotta ask you, what is on Taylor Rook's daily playlist? Who are you listening to in the gym,
Yeah.
on your trips to work, just in your leisure time? Who's Taylor Rook's listening to?
I mean, honestly, so much music. I'm one of those people who listens to the same song over and over and over and over again because I know what I like, and I also really love old music. Um, but if you want to hear some newer things, I, like probably everyone else, have a lot of Drake on their playlist. So I'm still listening to Her Loss. I'm honestly still listening to Honestly Nevermind. I liked that album a lot. Still playing SZA. Love SZA. Love Thames. I'm like, Thames, I hope becomes one of just like the biggest names in music because I think she's so talented. I love her tone. I watched some of those YouTube live performances that she has done like so many times. So I'm a big Thames fan. I don't think if there's anybody that is like under the radar that I listen to. I feel like I kind of listen to what everyone's listening to.
Yeah, I saw you were at Dreamville Fest. I was also
Love
there.
Cole. Oh,
Yeah,
were you there? That was
yeah, I
so
was
fun.
there. It
That
was
was
amazing.
so much fun. I mean, that moment just when you got to see Cole and Drake on the stage was super iconic. Usher also is the best performer. Speaking of old music, I literally still have Usher on so many playlists in the gym. So I don't know. I need to get on like some more underground artists. Do you have any suggestions?
Oh man, I'm a big Cash Cobain and Chow Lee fan. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
I have heard
Um,
Crash Cobain. I have. Yeah.
yeah, I really like his project. He dropped one for his birthday called Slizzy Day. I thought that was really good.
Okay.
I
Oh, I love
obviously very
Young Nudie. He's not underground,
okay.
but he certainly isn't like I would say mainstream. But
Yeah. He's probably like right in the middle, but on his way there.
yeah,
But yeah,
listen to
Nudie is
Biggie
great.
Bell. You know, I'm into like the Atlanta artists. I'll listen to.
lot, lots of hometown pride.
Yeah, yeah.
So being from LA, I gotta ask you. I visited there twice. I got to go to American Deli, which was great. What's your American Deli order?
So I will say I actually do not go to American Deli. A lot of my
Ooh.
friends do. But again, I always try to say this. I am from Gwinnett, so I'm from the
Mm-hmm.
suburbs of Atlanta. So my go-to spots are different than people that grew up like in the city. You know how you'll say to somebody, "Where are you from?" And they'll say Chicago. You're like, "We're in Chicago." They say, "Oh, well, it's actually Naperville." I'm like, "Yeah, no. I am from Gwinnett County." So I would spend a lot of weekends in the city. Obviously, we would go to the city some nights and things like that. But when I'm going to just like grab a bite, I'm not going into the city for American Deli. But my friends in the city absolutely love it.
Gotcha. Awesome. Okay. And but being part of the movie, Blind Faith, like, can we expect to see Taylor Rooks doing more acting stuff throughout her career?
You know what's so funny? I have done what I did maybe like 3 interviews in the past week and a half, just about various things. And you are the second person that has said I should act. And I will say I've never thought about acting. It's really fun to do things if like I have a cameo and I'm playing myself or something like that. But it would be nice to play someone else, I'm sure. Yeah, have a yeah, if anybody wants to cast me in anything, let me know. But no, I love movies. I love TV shows. I think it's really cool to like be on a set and have this role that you really get to take a lot of ownership in and you watch your character develop. I think that's really, really cool. I mean, when I was a kid, I acted, but I didn't have
Mm.
real plans, about now doing it. But I love trying new things, like how I, decided to go ride on a slingshot in Houston. I'm always open to try new things. So if acting is in the cards, I want to cut it out.
Okay. Well, there we go. And that's how you should live life, being willing to try new things. That's how you get the
Totally.
most out of it.
Yeah, you
Well,
can't say no to new experiences. That's how I feel like you grow and you learn what you like and what you don't like and what you can do and all these things. So I try not to close myself off to stuff.
exactly. Well, I want to thank you so much for your time. I want to congratulate you on all your success. I can't wait to see what interview is next, or what movie you might be in next, or what funny Twitter moment with Tyrese Halliburton and Channing Frye that you'll be part of.
I am so happy that I just let them have that moment.
Mhm.
But I was like, Channing, why'd you say that to Tyrese? Tyrese doesn't give a fuck about it. Love Channing, love Tyrese. They made that NBA Twitter live stream very fun. So
Absolutely. But yes, thank you so much for your time. It was amazing talking to you, and hopefully we can do this again in a much larger setting, maybe in person. So
yeah.
yeah.
No, for sure. Thank you so much for your time and doing this and giving me your space. It was truly a pleasure. I appreciate it.
Baby girl, how you feeling? I've been out in the world, staying busy, taking time, getting right if you miss me. I've been out in the world, staying busy. Ain't you heard? Ain't you heard? Caught the vibes. Got the vibes. They put you on. Put you on. Got the slides. Got the slides. I'm the size. I'm the size. When in doubt, no we hold it down. Baby girl, how you feeling? Hey. I've been out in the world, staying busy. Yeah. Taking time, getting right if you miss me. What? I've been out in the world, staying busy.